Hey, Chiropassion champions, Dr. Joe Borio here with you. I want to ask you a question. So when you think about your practice, think about retention. Think about when people most commonly leave your office. Think about when people are most likely to drop or when they commonly drop. A lot of times we go over this PVA, and I humbly say that's the wrong number to look at. The profession gets hung up on PVA, and patient visit average can be so misleading because based upon the number of new ones you had one week versus another week. So I'm always a big fan of tracking your dropouts. Like if you go back 3 months or go back a year and say, okay, everyone who discontinued care, when did they leave? And when you look at that, you're going to have a couple of clusters. And that's one of the things I always teach you as your coach. Let's look at those clusters because there's ways to solve those problems. There's ways to look at that with a strategy so that we're not losing people so early. And that's their detriment, right? So we want to track dropouts. We want to look at it. And one of the things that I always teach people about getting people under long-term care, getting people under retention, improving the retention in your practice. One of the easiest, best questions, and this question leads into so many other questions. And that is when, and this is something I want you guys to write down, when would have been the best time to start care? When would have been the best time to start care for you? When would have been the best time to start? So when you're going over an x-ray and you're going over recommendations of care, when you're going over their criteria test as far as how severe they are, how sick they are, what have you, such a great question is when would have been a best time or the best time to start care. See, when you get into that question, most people, not everybody, but most people are going to say what? They're going to say, geez, when I was a kid or a long time ago or years ago. Right. So that question is going to lead into so many other questions, right? So, hey, how long, well, if it's been for a long time, how long is it going to take to get well? That's another great question, right? Or, Bob, let me ask you this. How old do you think you were when this started? Right? If you should have started years ago, well, when I was a young man. So listen, I'm not trying to give you a hard time, Bob, but, you've got 2 boys at home. They haven't been in to get checked. Tell me what I can do. Tell us what we can do to help you so we can get the 2 boys in. You see, when you ask the question, that question is going to lead them to looking introspectively now to thinking, hey, what are some areas that I could have done better, if you will, in order to get other family members in? But they need to look at themselves. They need to answer the question themselves. They need to say, wow, you know what? I could have or should have started a long time ago, right? So that's going to lead them to the problem's been there for a really long time. So long-term care is going to make them a lot more sense to them, right? It didn't start Wednesday when they woke up off the couch, just like their heart attack, even though it happened when they were shoveling the driveway or they got out of bed or they were taking a walk. That doesn't mean the heart disease started then, right? So again, using some analogies, using conversations, creating questions that evoke the right answer to lead them. Remember, education means to draw from. Teach means to tell. Education means to draw out of. Education starts from the Socratic mindset that they already know, and I'm going to pull it out. See, they already know they should have done this a long time ago. They already know. Who can look at their x-ray with massive damage and decay and say, yeah, I should have started last week versus they should have started a long time ago. So again, creating the right question, creating the right atmosphere is going to have a massive change in leading you, making it easier for you, and most importantly, making it easier for them to have the realization that they should have been under care a long time ago. It's going to open the door to have conversations about their kids. It's going to open the door to have conversations about their spouse. And then we can talk about long-term care. Listen, talking about subluxation of chiropractic care as something that's going to change people's lives and only offering a 90-day care plan and releasing people from care is totally incongruent. I mean, if chiropractic and the subluxation is significant and serious, and it affects the neurology, and it affects the blood flow and cerebral spinal fluid, and it heightens and increases the rate of decay at the spine, why would you ever tell somebody to come in for 30 or 90 days and be released? Like, that's literally like walking into a dentist and the dentist says, "Wow, your teeth are really bad. I'll tell you what, we're gonna take care of them for the next 2 months. And then, at this point, get out of here, don't brush, don't floss. When they get sick again, come on back in." Listen, it's got to be lifetime care. It's got to be retention. That doesn't mean they're all going to do it, but I'm not going to start anywhere else other than what's best for them. And what's best for them, by doing that, you're going to lead more people to long-term care. And so that question, right, when would have been a better time to start? That's such a very important, powerful question. Guys, this is Dr. Joe Borio with Chiropassion Consulting. And listen, if you like what we're doing, share the video, certainly like the video. I'd also encourage you, hey, if you're looking for a coach, if you're looking for a group of docs that are really tight-knit, that a group of docs that are looking to elevate you, that certainly here to support you. If you're looking for easy procedures, easier ways to increase retention, a low overhead, run an office that's highly efficient, that's going to serve a lot of people, certainly increase your profit margin so you can be a lot more successful both on the personal and professional side. I'm going to tell you to hit that link. You can get a free coaching call with Dr. Joe Borio. So that's what you need to do now. Click that link, set up a free coaching call with me. We'll get on. I'd love to hear your story, talk to you more about what we do as a coaching program. And by all means, if it resonates with you, we'd certainly love to have you part of our program as well. Guys, study the video, write some notes. Again, closing, like it, share it, get it to some other docs that could benefit with retention. And I guess I'll talk to you guys next week. And thank you for loving what I love.